Welcome to Realign, a Reflective Journey, a soul nourishing series where we pause, reflect, and realign with what truly matters. In this final week of the series, we explore what it means to realign with purpose and power, not through external validation, but through soul level truth. And joining me today is someone who knows all about walking that sacred path. Patricia Peters, a modern shaman. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to redo that. So, welcome to Realign, a Reflective Journey, a soul nourishing series where we pause, reflect, and realign with what truly matters. In this final week of the series, we explore what it means to realign with purpose and power, not through external validation, but through soul level truth. And joining me today is someone who knows all about walking that sacred path, Patricia Peters, a modern shaman and guide for women's liberation and fulfillment. Welcome, Patricia.
Hello, thank you for having me.
As usual, I am so happy to have you here when we do these soul level talks. You come with a very interesting take on some of these things that I may not think of, and the audience may not think of. So, before we jump in, I just want to tell you thank you right now for giving us your wisdom in this. So, all right, well, let's jump in then. So, you often speak about soul purpose and inner liberation. What does it really mean to realign with your true purpose? And how can we begin to reclaim our power when we've lost touch with it?
Mhm. Okay, so what does it mean when you're really aligned with your soul's purpose? It's a state of being, but it's also a state of doing, because being and doing, they have this sacred dance together, being and
Mm-hmm.
doing. And when you are soul aligned, and when you act in your or from your purpose, one thing feeds the other. And what it means for you in your day-to-day life or in your work life, wherever, it's this feeling of total fulfillment, satisfaction, joy, whatever it is for you. And it has nothing to do with, for example, how much we work. It has to do with, is it fulfilling, or is it kind of soul and energy draining, or is it boring? So that's a surefire. That's something. When you experience this, I'm not soul aligned. I'm not in my purpose. So once you follow your purpose or your higher calling, your true calling, however you want to name it, no matter how important the things you do are, they fulfill you, even if you're just doing the dishes. Because purpose is not just tied to a certain segment of our life. It's basically it it flows through the entire day. It's not just job or art or sports, whatever we do. It's your entire day, basically.
Gotcha. So basically, it's all encompassing, if you will.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And you
And that's
just,
where a lot of people, a lot of women come to me, oh, I haven't found my purpose. I can't find my purpose, because the expectations are so high, you
yeah.
know. Not everyone is the next superstar or the next great big artist or the next famous opera singer. Sometimes your purpose means being kind, being present in the here and now, reconnecting with the joy of being part of nature, for example. So, and a lot of people, because we are so trained and programmed, you mentioned it, external validation, big goals, and purpose oftentimes is very subtle,
Yeah. Yeah.
very quiet, very calm. It's more about this inner voice, this inner feeling, this inner state of being. And
I,
this flows out through the world and into our doing.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can be on purpose even if we do the dishes.
Yeah, I love that. It's that inner knowing, and
Yes.
you work a lot with women, but this is for men too. It's like, uh,
Sure.
it's like I know women have a harder time sometimes because often society has taught us that we're supposed to be in specific roles,
Mm-hmm.
and those roles don't always fulfill us. And so we're always searching for, okay, what's my true purpose? Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling. But the same thing can be for men, because men,
Yeah.
society has taught them too that their role is
Mm-hmm.
to work hard and
Mm-hmm.
take care of the
Yes.
family and this, that, and
Yep.
the other. And that
Yep.
may not fulfill them either. So, yeah.
Yes, and it's about time to kind of break free from those imposed roles. I mean, if the role fits you, wonderful. But if it doesn't, yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Mhm.
So let's expand on this just a little bit more, because I asked you a little bit about it, but we started talking about other things, and I don't think we quite answered it. But how can we begin to reclaim our power when we've lost touch with it? Because I sometimes feel like when we're on this journey to discover our purpose, there's a power that goes along with it too. But I
Mhm.
think we have generally in life have given up our power at some point or another to
Mhm.
someone or something. So
Yes.
how can we reclaim that?
That's the point. It starts with not giving it away anymore. And this giving away our power oftentimes happens so unconsciously, also because of programming or expectations, be it societal expectations or the expectations we have. You know,
Yeah,
so stop giving away your power. So now, what does it mean? There are some things in life that we have control over or we are responsible for. And there are way, way more things in life. We can't do anything about it. We have no control. We are not responsible for it. However, oftentimes it happens that we kind of tie our perception of self empowerment or our worth and value, for example, our happiness, to those external factors that we oftentimes we can't even really influence.
right.
And that's the biggest loss of power when this happens. So when you feel powerless, best thing to do usually is to kind of intentionally, okay, stop. Where am I? What am I doing here? What am I thinking, feeling here? Okay, stop. Where is my power? Because when you feel into it, when you think about it, when you do an honest assessment, usually you can point out, okay, my power is wherever,
Yeah,
is the feeling I need to reach this goal. If I don't reach this goal, I'm powerless, I'm not worthy. Okay, I gave my power to this goal.
yeah,
And oftentimes, just this acknowledgement is okay. Oh, I already feel different, you know.
yeah,
And then it's being conscious and aware that there is some higher power. And I'm not talking about necessarily about religious beliefs or something like that. I mean, if religion is fine for you, it's fine. For some people, it's nature or consciousness or the universe, whatever. Usually, that's oftentimes they mean the same, it's just labels. But be aware that there is some kind of well meaning higher power, our own soul, for example, our
yeah,
own higher self, our own divine part. And whenever we reconnect with this, just by consciously thinking about, okay, I have access to this well meaning higher power that flows to me and through me, that's also a huge step of empowerment, self
yeah,
empowerment. Yeah.
yeah,
And a very practical thing is, especially nowadays, this feeling of powerlessness gets triggered by too much consumption of social
Ah,
media, mass media, and
yeah,
whatever, or even binging, even the nicest show you love. But if you constantly binge it, it also sucks your kind of your soul energy away from you, and then you not only feel tired, but yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, I agree. I agree.
Mhm.
So, for those who are feeling disconnected from their soul path, or maybe unsure of what their purpose is, or even afraid to fully step into it, what guidance would you offer to help them move forward with trust?
So to get more clarity on your path, for example, there is a nice exercise, journaling exercise that you can do, and it's called the 7 Whys.
Mm.
WHY. Not necessarily 7, it can be 5, 3, 11, whatever. So you can start with asking yourself the question, why am I here? And then listen and journal what comes up. And for example, and then whatever comes up, for example, it can be, why am I here? And then something comes up, to be a teacher. Okay, then you take the teacher. Why is this important? Or why do you want to be a teacher? And then, okay, to spread knowledge. Why do you want to spread knowledge? And you go on and on until you really get to this soul level. And once you hit the soul level, you will know. You will know.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's a wonderful, easy
Yeah.
exercise to get more clarity on where to move forward, what's the next step to take, or what's the next orientation. It's a wonderful exercise, especially when you are at some crossroads in your life.
Well, thank you for sharing it. That's actually a very interesting and wonderful exercise. I hadn't thought about that. It kind of reminds me of course, since we're from two different cultures and different countries, so you guys may not, have this, but there's like this whole thing with little children always asking you why, and it's like
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah.
why is the sky blue? You try to explain it. Well, why? And then try to explain. Well, why? And then you explain that. Well, why? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds
Yes.
me of the little child just
Right. Yes.
constantly
The
asking
curiosity
why.
until you really get to the core of things. Yes. Yeah. It's a wonderful exercise. Gives you
Yeah.
so much insight and clarity in your own self, in your true self. Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there you have it. Journal the why and
Yeah.
just keep going until you just know.
Yes, yes. And you immediately, when it comes up for you, you will immediately know. And then of course you stop. Then you stop asking the why. And whatever your result is, you feel into it, you kind of step into it, and you can ask yourself the next question. For example, how do I feel when I'm embodying this, or when I'm acting on this, or when I choose this career? So, whatever topic or situation in your life it is, you do this journaling exercise. You take
Yeah.
the result, you step into it, and you see, okay, what's my vibe? What's my vibe once I live this core truth that came up for me right now. And
Yeah.
this pulls you forward. This pulls you forward on your path of living your higher calling, living your purpose, living a meaningful life. And of course, this goes hand in hand with self empowerment,
Yeah.
because this empowers you. When you follow your path, you feel power, you feel meaning. Mhm.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. So, before I wrap this up and wrap up this series, do you have any additional takeaway that you would like to offer those who are listening, who are trying to realign themselves with purpose and power?
Mhm, mhm. The best way to find it or to co-create it is to get very calm and quiet, tune out everything from the outside, because it's within. And so your soul is whispering to you. You can only hear your soul when you sit in stillness, when you sit in quiet. No. You can't hear it when you're distracted, when you whatever watch television, when you are at a party or something like that. So
All right,
go
quiet it
quiet
is.
and listen, and then trust. Trust.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there you have it. So, true power isn't about control, it's about connection.
Hmm.
And when we return to the truth of who we are, we stop
Hmm.
chasing and start creating. And realigning with purpose isn't a destination, it's a return to our original frequency, the soul's knowing. You just need to be clearer, braver, and rooted in your truth. So,
Yes.
thank you for joining us today. And thank you again, Patricia, for sharing your wisdom with
You're
us for
welcome.
this final reflection in the Realign series. Let this be the beginning of your return to purpose, power, and soul aligned living. And remember, as I always say, wellness isn't a destination, it's your daily journey. Bye.
Hmm. Bye.